8:30 here on LBC News. Could be the hottest day of the year, and so we're likely to see a lot of barbecues, maybe some picnics as well take place. But if you don't manage to eat all the food you prepared, have you ever not eaten everything at a barbecue? Oh, it's just me then, okay. Don't think about throwing it all away. Apparently 6 in 10 of us feel guilty about throwing away food. According to new research, we feel guilty about throwing away food more than anything else. However, it does seem we are missing a bit of a trick, though, with over half of us admitting that we don't offer to share anything with our neighbours. Apparently there's a bit of a lack of familiarity with our neighbours that's preventing us from sharing more, with over a quarter of people agreeing that they don't know their neighbours well enough to share with them. So, in a bid to combat issues of waste and to bring the community together, the Eden Project's Big Lunch is back for 2024. Well, let's talk more about this with Great British Bake Off winner Giuseppe Delano. Good morning to you, Giuseppe. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Hope you're well too. Why do you think then we feel guilty about throwing food away more than anything else?
Well, that's a very natural response, isn't it? Who doesn't? I'm from an older generation, and growing up, I remember my grandfather and my parents. It was considered sacrilege to throw away any food. I remember this very old tradition in Italy that my grandma used to kiss the bread before throwing it away if it was stale, because it was considered almost sacred. Food was devoted, and so it should be. It's one of our main necessities. And so it's absolutely normal that people feel like that to this day. What's odd is that not much is done to put an end to that. If you ask people, usually the experts' advice is that you should go to the to the supermarkets with all your meals planned for the foreseeable future, so that your shopping list doesn't buy you one extra apple or one fewer pear. But that's absolutely, doable if you can. I'm not that organized. I'm afraid I would never be able to do that. So I really welcome... Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, do we know how much food is being thrown away? I mean, I was always taught that I couldn't leave the table until I'd finished my food. So I remember when I was younger, we really didn't throw very much away, but I guess times have changed.
Yes. I mean, there are some research that shows that almost a third of all the food that is produced worldwide is actually thrown away, ends up in the garbage, which is shocking and staggering for a whole set of reasons. I mean, if you look at the poorest part of the world, they really don't have anything to eat, and there is a very clear imbalance there. But it's not. I mean, it doesn't have to be. You don't need to look that far away, considering the big, a crisis we're going through in terms of cost of living, etc. The last thing you want to do is throw away valuable food. So I think that this initiative, the idea that the people behind the Big Lunch, the Eden Project, came up with, is such a simple and obvious idea. Just share it with somebody else before you chuck it in a recycling bin. But I understand that there are a lot of almost mental blocks for people to do that, because it's probably part of the British politeness, the fact that you struggle to knock at the door of your neighbor unannounced, let alone if you can show up with a humble portion of the leftover serving in a Tupperware. But
it is a lovely idea. As you say, it's a bit of a mental block. I mean, the thought of me knocking on my next door neighbour's house and saying, hey, do you want some bit of lasagna that's left over? But it's a great idea to actually communicate more with your neighbours, find out who it is that's in your community, and hey, we as Brits, we love to eat, and sharing food with other people, that's one of life's greatest pleasures.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's part of my religion. The thing is that when you share food, you're not just sharing, the menial cost of the ingredients that are in that portion of pasta bake or whatever you're passing on. You're telling these people, I'm giving you the time that I've put into preparing it. I'm giving you the fact that I thought of you when I was, when I was making this. So there is way more than just the monetary value of what you're sharing behind a piece of food. I mean, for Italians, food is the love language, and I wish I could export that elsewhere. I remember, I'll tell you this very brief story. When my wife was pregnant with our last child, we already had two, so we were, overwhelmed with things to do. People come over and bring you presents. They bring you the toy for the kid. They bring you, whatever you might need. Nothing was more welcome, I remember vividly at the time, than our neighbors bringing us over a single serving of frozen foods, because that meant that we wouldn't have to worry about shopping or cooking. We were sorted. It is such a small thing, but extremely, extremely powerful, and its power is often underestimated.
Well, really good to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on LBC News. This Saturday morning, that is a Great British Bake Off winner, Giuseppe Delano, talking to us more about the Big Lunch, which is back on the 1st and 2nd of June. You can find out more at EdenProjectCommunities.com. Right, 8:30.